Hi guys, it's Belle here and it is time for card 10, I believe, in the full deck challenge by Shinuki Art. I will leave the links as always down below. Yes, I'm still not very well. You can probably hear it in my voice. We're just going to work with it. So today's prompts are vintage and brown splatters. So I just, being tired and poorly as I am, just grabbed a load of kind of browns, vintage kind of looking pieces, as well as some actual vintage scraps. If you're new, please do check out Shayna's video for this challenge. But basically we're supposed to carry over one item from the week before, and we are also supposed to take one item and use that, or use that piece on each of our makes. I am doing 3 because I am me. And one of the things I'm doing is stamps. I found this, which I absolutely love. It's fun, so we're going to do that. I am also using some stickers that I've had for quite a while that I just don't use for anything else. So that's my sticker. I will also be using words on every page. So we have some words. These are Tim Holtz ones. The piece I'm carrying over from last week, it was pink and black splatters. So the only thing that would really work, I mean, I could carry over stitching and things, but the only thing that would really work is this piece. It's a really pale pink and it has some writing on it. And I thought that would work. And guys, we're just going to get into it because I'm tired. So I found this piece in my scraps and it's got these holes already punched out. And I thought that might be fun to kind of use, like just to try. Oh my gosh, let's hold something. Hold something? Am I crazy? I thought that might be quite fun to use. It's moving. I don't care. We'll cut it properly. And then I'm going to tear this bit because I don't want the fish on the end of there. And I am going to be using my walnut stain. I don't know if you can hear that. Can you hear that on camera? My neighbour's dogs. Something, bless them, has triggered them. They're having a bit of a howling session. I don't mind. And I'm thinking of putting the stamp in that circle, using it a bit differently. And I like the fact that there's a postage mark on here that's also round. So that's what I'm thinking of doing with that. I don't know. Oh, trying to be creative when your whole body just wants to continue to sleep. But I've been sleeping for almost a week and a half. So it's time to actually do things instead. So we're going with that. Okay. I want something under here. I also have some vintage music, which I think, do you know what? Hold on. I'm really trying so hard not to cough on camera. And I'm managing to catch most of my coughs, which is a good thing. So, I tell you, every morning I wake up and think, oh, is this going to be the morning that I feel even 5% better than yesterday? And instead, something that I either didn't have the day before or that was not as bad is suddenly worse. So I don't know, the coughing, I seem to miss most of it. My partner and son have it really bad. And I was like, oh, thank goodness mine isn't as bad as that. And I even went almost a full 24 hours without a single cough the other day. And now all of a sudden, my body has decided, no, we're going to bring the cough back. Because of course it has. Why wouldn't it, you know? I'm going to do that. And I am going to do that. So I'm going to move it again. You know, I'm going to do what I sometimes do, which is glue across the top and then a little bit here. Because I have to put something. Well, I don't have to put something under there because I have got the music under there, but just in case. It just means it holds itself in place a little bit while I am about to get the scissors and trim. So yeah, every morning I wake up and think, this is the morning that I'm going to feel almost human again. Excuse me while I have a drink. But then I just get disappointed. I keep thinking there's a way of having this writing. I think this is it. I think I want it there, possibly. So, yay me. Let's just glue this down then. Like so. One of the things I am happiest about, though, is that I'm actually able to read again, because I didn't read a single thing for over a week, which is just, it's just unheard of. It's just not, it just doesn't feel right. But not only could I not see properly to read, but my brain was just not in a place to take in any information whatsoever. So that was just not something I could do. I can feel that circle under here. So I'm just running my nail because I want to be able to cut part of this so that it kind of fits in where that circle is. It's not going to be perfect, but that's not the point. We're not going for perfection. We're going for trying to get a video up and catch up with some things. But yeah, so I couldn't take in any information. I couldn't read. I couldn't do anything. And it just felt so strange. I mean, sometimes I might go a couple of days without reading if I'm just in... This actually says Wellington on there, Duke of Wellington. That's not what the Queen's husband was, but it makes me smile to see it. Yeah, I might go a couple of days sometimes without reading, especially if I've finished a couple of books or if I've finished a particularly difficult book that I'm still thinking about. But to go over a week without reading just feels weird. So I'm really glad that I am able to read again. My dear fellow, I kind of love that too. It kind of feels like something the Duke would have said. So we're just going to sit that down. Yeah, so I'm able to read again. Nothing too much Although saying that, I'm in the middle of a historical fiction right now that's based on real life events, and oh my goodness, that is proving both fascinating because it's something I knew nothing about, but also really hard. It's really, really hard hitting. Funnily enough, it's not the book itself, because the book does a lot off screen, off page. I don't know why I said screen. It does a lot off page. Thankfully, because I couldn't read some of the things it's talking about otherwise. That is definitely an angle. But it's just something that is, I think it's quite beautifully written. I don't know if everyone would agree. I don't know. But I think it's beautifully written, and it's really kind of whisking me away. So that's taken up a lot of my brain space at the moment, and I'm also reading every day a couple of, sorry, had another drink, a couple of Irish mythology and fairy tales, because every year for the past few years I've kind of taken part in the Irish Readathon, and yeah, one of the prompts is all like mythology or creatures or something. And so I have this book of Irish fairy tales and mythologies, and it's kind of split into all the different parts of Ireland, north and south, and each area, like Down or Antrim or Cork, they have their own area, and it tells you maybe a couple of the fairy tales from that area. And I am really enjoying that at the moment, but I'm just reading like a section a day, because I'm going to use my Mod Podge, because one, I don't want to like read tons and tons and tons and tons and then not remember most of the short stories, and two, it's just a little something each day that I can read. So that's fun. I'm enjoying that. It's quite interesting though, because it had a piece about Amelia Earhart in there, which really I was not expecting. In a book about Irish fairy tales and myths, I was not expecting a little bit about Amelia Earhart, but there we go. And then it has more classic things, you know, about the good people, the good neighbours, you know, beware, beware, when the good neighbours are out and there. So if you don't know, that is one of the many, many Irish terms for what other people refer to as the fae, the fairies. We don't. The good people, the good neighbours, the wee ones, the she, everything but the word fairy. That's not what we call them. So there's plenty of those as well, which is good. I just put a little bit of vintage stone pattern paper on there. It dulls and blends it in a little bit, and it's another vintage piece. I did have a little like ruffle, yes, Yes, it's a ruffle. I did have one of those. I did wonder about that. Do you know what else I have? Hold on. When I was decluttering, when I was better, I came across my vintage fabric measuring tape. You can barely see. There's some marks still on there. I love this. I really, really love it. And I came across it again. It rips beautifully. Look at that. And yeah, I'm trying to see what colour I have in my sewing machine. Could even do a piece just over the top. Like so. That's too big, but say a smaller piece. I could actually have it that way. And we could have it stitched. Or a brad. We could put a brad in there. Yeah. So, it's good to be reading again. But, yeah, the Amelia Earhart one was interesting. I can see why that it was put in there, I suppose. But it's not, because it has become, she landed in a field and, you know, the Irish being the Irish, claimed her as one of ours, even though she obviously wasn't. But it's kind of become part of the mythology of that whole area, of how she landed in this field and went and stayed with, might have been a farmer. You know, it's just part of the mythology that has grown up in that area. But also it was just a bit interesting and surprising to see, that's all. In a thing with all the other types of stories. That was, I still have to put the splatters on here. So I will be doing that. Oh my goodness. I honestly feel like everything is in slow motion. That's what I feel. Don't think I like that one. At the moment, the idea of doing more than one video is just not possible because I'm too exhausted. I need to bring this up and have a bit of a look, guys. Sorry. Because I can't really see what I want to see from there. I don't know if I have another one. I mean, they're two different ones. I don't like it. I really don't like it. Okay. Well, that is interesting. Do I add a star on here or something? It's not in brown or gold. But I'm just wondering if I add a star. I don't think I like the colour of that either. Okay, well, this is a thing. So let's get these ones out and see if I can find something in here. I feel like I want another goldy brown one. Normally these do not take as long. But it is what it is right now. Everything's going to take a bit of time as I am trying to get my energy back. We'll do the heart. We'll do the heart. Okay, that I like. That I do like. Okay. Yeah. All right. Now I need to do brown splatters. Ugh. So I have my Distress Oxide Vintage Photo Spray. And I'm just going to use the nozzle. Why does there seem to be none on the pink? That's the very bit that I wanted it on. And that's the bit that it hasn't gone on. Okay, I'm going to dry that. Okay, so that dried. And there we go. I'm not sure I like it. I'm also not sure that it matters. It is a beautiful crown. I feel like the Queen's Kit. Oh, we have the Queen's Kiss. Yeah. I like the Queen's Kiss one because it just feels right with it being our late Queen and her husband. The Queen's Kiss. I'm wondering if I need it backed on something, and I feel like I do. Do I want this? Okay, let's just do this. The Queen's Kiss. Because theirs was a very interesting love story. Whatever people thought of the late Duke, the late Queen absolutely adored him. And yeah, it's one of those stories for the ages, I think. So yeah, having last month finished a book all about a queen, or a queen mother rather, it's interesting to think about that, all the historically, you know, because a lot of the marriages, the royal marriages, were not for love. But our late Queen knew who she wanted. Reminds me a lot of Queen Victoria, actually. That Queen Elizabeth II and Queen Victoria have a lot in common that way. So, yeah. The Queen's Kiss. Okay, let's see if I can find my little black pen. A little fine liner. I need new ones. These ones are running out, but I just want to go around this. And bless him, he really had no say in it. She was just like, yeah, that's the man I'm going to marry. Everyone's like, you're very young. He's a lot older than you. When you grow up, you'll probably feel differently. She's like, nope. That's the man I'm going to marry. So, I'm wondering if I want, like, to go around the outside of this circle. like so. Well, we have everything, don't we, guys? We have our piece left over from last week, which is this pink. And we've done our vintage and brown splatters. I've got my stamp on there, my word and my sticker. And we've left the corner free, so we can see it says Queen of Hearts. So we are finished. That is card 10, vintage and brown splatters. I hope you enjoyed this one. I know my videos will be a bit all over the place for a little while, but I know you guys understand, so thank you in advance for your understanding of the situation. And I will be back again soon for another video. Until next time, guys, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having lots and lots of crafty fun. Bye for now.